I mean, hell, many of the DVDs and Blu-rays I got are of movies from that year. Now keep in mind that not all the movies on this list are movies that I watched that year. Even though most of them are, some movies on this list are movies I watched later on. And I also don't love all the movies I did back then right now. There are some movies from that year I used to love which I now fucking hate. They are my Super Ex-Girlfriend and Superman Returns. "2006 has been overall a fucking fantastic year for movies. So much so that there are a lot of movies from that year that I love which didn't make it on this list. Number 15, Aragorn. I know a lot of people hate this movie, which is also the case with plenty of movies on this list, but I never let that fact discourage me from loving a movie. And this movie has a very interesting take on dragons. In this movie, dragons appear to the people that they choose because these people are wealthy enough. And I am also a big fan of that guy the protagonist travels with, which was a dragon rider a long time ago. And the protagonist is also a fucking hero. At the top of that, the villain is a very greedy king and a great villain. Number 14, Monster House. Of course you could watch some random horror movie on Halloween, but I think this is more appropriate. Because most horror movies are appropriate to watch any time of the year. But Monster House, it's really not. Now despite this movie's PG rating, it's still extremely fucking scary, in a good way. This movie is about what the title suggests, a fucking monster house. Now not only is it a fucking scary movie, it's also extremely fucking creepy, especially for a PG rated movie. The movie is not rated R, it's not rated PG-13, it's rated PG. Number 13, Cars. Most people say that the Cars movies are the worst Pixar movies, and I strongly disagree. I will talk about what in my opinion the worst Pixar movies are in a future video. So basically, I absolutely fucking love movies with a massive amount of creativity, and this movie definitely has that. Number 12, Snakes on a Plane. The best part about the movie is that famous quote by the end of it. Number 11, Portwinked. This is honestly one of the greatest spoof movies of the century, which isn't saying much since most of them suck. Folk tale about Red Riding Hood. And believe it or not, the wolf isn't even the main villain of the movie. Who is the main villain? Well, I'm not gonna spoil. Though it's much more of a spoof than adaptation though. Number 10, Saw 3. I know a lot of people think that the Saw movies are just torture, but I completely disagree with that. You see, Jigsaw actually has a fucking reason to torture those people. He thinks what he is doing isn't murder, but obviously it fucking is. Yeah, and I also like how the guy this movie focuses on, besides Jigsaw of course, has to do a series of fucking tests. If you don't think this movie is scary, then that's fine, but I personally do think that it's scary and really holds up. Number 9, Blood Diamond. Of course I was gonna include at least one Leonardo DiCaprio movie on this list. He is, after all, a fucking fantastic actor and one of my favorites. But my problem is this, that Leonardo is apparently playing a British guy. It makes no sense to me that an American plays as a British guy. But ignore that, that's not a problem with the movie. So Leonardo's character, but as long as he does business with Leonardo's character, he's gonna be just fucking fine. Overall, a great movie and I fucking love it. Number 8, Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Yet another movie that I completely disagree with the hatred on. He's trying to make the holiday all about him, and I sympathize with him because nobody fucking cares about him. I'd be pretty pissed off too if nobody cared about me. But yeah. Number 7, RV. The movie is very funny for the most part. There are some scenes that bothered me and weren't funny, I will admit that. But most of the movie is extremely fucking funny. And I also feel sorry for the guy as his family is a bunch of ungrateful assholes. Number 5, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. I do like movies about talking animals, I really do, if they're done right, but unfortunately most of the times they are not done right and turn out to be shitty movies. Of course, the concept of talking animals is silly, so you can't expect a movie like this to not be silly. Number 4, Talladega Nights, the ballad of Ricky Bobby. But unfortunately for him, some friend's asshole beats him and his life goes upside down because of it. I find it really fucking sad how downhill his life got after he stopped playing in Formula 1. Oh, and let's not mention how fucking insane his father is. And the only reason I haven't gotten around to reviewing this movie yet is because I mostly review movies not from memory. I'm not sure if I ever will get around to reviewing the movie. Number 3, Click. I'm sure that all of you who saw my spoiler movie review of this movie did see this coming. And in many cases it ruins Adam Sandler's life more than it helps him. Which is just expected. I mean, after all, it is a very fucking powerful remote. And Christopher Lloyd plays as the mad scientist who gave him that remote. I fucking love every aspect of the movie. You can count on it. Number 2, The Departed. And for some reason there are a lot of people that still work for him. And he is also a friend of the protagonist, though to be fair, I don't think he's really a friend, he is just talking to him to get what he wants. Also, another thing that I must point out about this movie is the fact that the protagonist is a cop that nobody fucking believes in. Except for me, I thought that he could be a great cop. As much as I fucking love this movie, it's not my favourite movie directed by Martin Scorsese. That would be Goodfellas. But I honestly still fucking love it though. Number 1, The Flags of Our Fathers. But that is not to say I should ignore everything that's fucking fantastic about this movie. Now this isn't just a war movie, there's more to it. Though all of them only lasted for 5 minutes and then it was back to the story outside the battlefield. That is not a problem at all. This is after all supposed to be a fucking movie. And a movie is supposed to have a great story, and this movie has a fantastic story. Now keep in mind that there are many movies that didn't make it on this list. So if the movie isn't on the list, it doesn't mean that I hate it. In fact, I could as well fucking love that movie. I just don't love it as much as the movies that made it on the list. I could go into honorable mentions, but that would take far too fucking long, since 2006 has been such a fantastic year for movies that it would make for an extremely long video, and you don't want that. This video is long enough as it is.